Oh man, they're off. All right. I think we're in for another great race here. We just had a race just earlier, just finished, between Boeing, previous year's champion, and Maladroid. Those two both put up similar times in their first race, so that was definitely looking to be a great race. And I think we have another great one on our hands here. So let's introduce these two. So DRock91384, he started learning Earthbound back in the beginning of last year. I could truly call him a great friend that I have met through this community, as well as many others. He's his PB, I believe, is I want to say like a 108 or 109 or something. It's a pretty good time. Quatropus, on the other hand, only just picked up this game this year. He has put a fair share amount of time to learning this category as well. I don't exactly remember what his PB off the top of my head is. I'd have to look it up, but it's somewhere around like the low 110 range. So I think this race is going to be a good one as well. So both racers here got to do the usual stuff you got to do here. Got to pick up the crack bat here and equip it. DRock with more experience here, getting that menu down quite well, but he got blocked by the sister there, so Quatropus was able to kind of match him. Yeah, don't worry about the desync, guys. The folks here at Speed Gaming are amazing, and they make sure to resync as much as they can, and it's looking really good right now, so props to their crew. So here we're just doing some more story stuff. Just gotta walk up here in your jammies, talk to this wonderful fellow over here named Pokey. Tells us to stop bugging the officers, even though he is blatantly bugging them himself, and you just had to go back and say, okay, well, I did what I can do. More plot stuff and all that, and then the game truly begins, the speed game, that is. DRock with the faster loading times. Oh, yeah. That's one of the great things about these older games, is that there was no such thing as load times or variable load times depending on whatever. So, you know, all games run the same as long as you're using the same original Super Nintendo console. Jammies for life, indeed. Funnily enough, a category was made recently, I think within the last year or so, called Pajama Percent, where you can actually glitch the game to keep Ness's pajamas sprite as long as possible for the rest of the game. So, yeah. They sure did, Hunter. Yeah, speed gaming is on point, to be expected. They're great. And congrats to Hunter for recently getting a third place time on the leaderboards in Pajama Percent, even though he just learned it. But back to this. So just more plot advancement here. We get Pokey to join our party. We got the crackbat. We're out of our jammies, and we're pretty much ready to go see what's going on at the top of the hill. Yeah, so just to clarify the tie-break system a bit. So obviously the two best players in the group advance to the bracket phase. In the case of a tie, though, as far as match wins and points and stuff, we actually use the best two times. We take the average of the best two times, and whoever has the better one will advance to the bracket phase. And currently, given the way the group is now, DRock is actually guaranteed to make it to the next phase. Unfortunately, DRock did get a red swirl there from a crow. The crow is just not cooperating, and getting into a fight with a crow is really scary, believe it or not. They are really fast. They have on the high end of 70-something speed. They're like the 4th fastest enemy in the game or something like that. Definitely top 5 if not. And yeah, you could just continuously miss with Ness because of how fast they are, and then they could just keep on attacking you. Another annoying thing too is that they can also steal items, food items that is. Luckily, he does not have any right now. Quatropus here is stutter stepping a snake, a technique used to bypass enemies that only move when you move. Getting them stuck on those trees there, getting them stuck on the terrain and then passing by is definitely something you want to be doing here and in other places such as PRV, Peaceful Rest Valley, that is. And yeah, this is actually really close because DRock got that fight. It's actually quite even. DRock had pretty good luck after that fight, and Quatropus had a pretty rough hill for the most part, having to dodge a lot of enemies, so it pretty much equaled out there. DRock posting in this chat here with a knocked out dragon. It's like, man, that was rough. It was rough, I can confirm that. Yeah, both runners definitely showing their skill here, utilizing the terrain to their advantage. And here we have the wonderful Buzz to explain the evil intentions of Gygus and all this stuff that we do not care about in the Boogie percent category because we're only doing a quarter of the game. Yeah, there's the Earthbound command in chat. The goal is to defeat Boogie Tent and collect the jar of fly honey, glitchless, and no manipulation to keep things, balanced and fair for the runners. Yeah, world record is now a low or mid 103 from Daniel RGT, who has had the Boogie percent world record before, and he also won the first Earthbound Super Series back in 2015. He actually got it in his race. I don't know if it was his first or second race, but it was one of his first races, and he actually got it in the race, which is pretty crazy. All right, now both players at Starman Jr. with a difference of less than 5 seconds or so. So Starman Jr. Always puts up, Buzz always puts up the shield, sorry, and the Starman Jr. essentially is gonna fire, freeze, and sometimes guard as well. So what you want to see here is Buzz charging forward with a strong attack. Unfortunately, DRock had a low hit there, 29 HP, not really great. So that pretty much guarantees that it will be at least a 3-turn fight and not a 2-turn fight, which is optimal. There's the charge forward, 100 HP. So this is most likely going to be a 3-turn Starman Jr. Unfortunately, we have a bit of issues on Quatropus' side. Hopefully we can get that resolved. Don't worry about that, guys. And there you go, DRock defeats Starman Jr. in 3 cycles. Slightly over 8 minutes because of that crow fight. Not a huge deal. Still on a decent pace so far. Alright, so here we're going to have more story in Pokey's house. Unfortunately, Buzz will not last too long, as Lardna will one-hit KO Karate Chop Buzz, which is very sad. Feels bees, man. So they're still really close. Actually, wait a sec. Oh, Quatropus. Okay, so unfortunately we didn't get to see Starman Jr.'s fight at all there because it kind of lagged out a bit. Quatropus is actually ahead now, assuming that Quatropus got a 2-cycle Starman Jr. fight. So that's pretty cool. So Quatropus actually does have the lead right now. Not by much, but a little bit. Let's see here. It looks like about 7 seconds ahead, according to the timers anyway. And there's Kuketsuki with that emote again. I love that emote. It's so great. Quatropus encountering a snake. Oh, geez, this is brutal. 2 snakes and a dog. A bit of a pincer here, but he could definitely get out of this. Oh, and then another dog above. Quatropus really got unlucky there. That's super unfortunate, especially having 4 spawns on that path. He wasn't even like fully through the path there. It was only half of the path. So yeah, he has to take care of the dog. Dog is the better option for sure. They have a chance to drop a bread roll as well, I believe. Also gives him an extra level too, so that's gonna make the Pogopunk fight safe. The snake is still there, unfortunately. This is just really bad luck. Another snake. My goodness, Quatropus is just yelling right now for sure. Oh, almost got close to that photo trigger there near the house. Meanwhile, DRock on the other side here got through that cleanly. He picked up the Mr. Baseball cap, which he immediately just sells here for money because you can just get the baseball cap and the cheap bracelet to have more defense in total. Also picking up the T-ball bat for better offense. Oh, interesting. DRock not opting to go for the I'll say like the 99% despawn because it doesn't always work. You can actually walk down left from the drugstore and then kind of make your way down right from behind the hospital, and that usually increases your odds of having no spawns at all show up here. He just decided to go straight down, going for the cardinal movement and just risking it. So he did have a spawn there and you have to despawn it. So here's the Pogopunk. This first Pogopunk is pretty brutal if he keeps on hitting you really hard. Every one of his attacks usually do about like a third of your HP if you didn't get an extra level. But I believe he did get an extra one because of the crow, so I think he was kind of fine there. The bread roll is there to kind of help you too, just in case you need the healing inside the fight. Quatropus as well, he's also just going to go straight down and going to risk it. See, once again, the spawns are there. For some reason, just walking behind the hospital, then going down right, definitely decreases the odds of that happening. But they're both going to risk it, which is totally respectable. So despite all that, Quatropus is not too far behind. He's about like a fight and a half behind right now. And these two in here are really not that bad, especially the Yes Man Jr. Yes Man Jr. has a lot of attacks that just do nothing, like laughing hysterically. Otherwise, they'll hit you for 10, basically. Oh, getting the bag of fries drop on DRock's end. That's actually pretty helpful here. Also, using the bag of fries there to heal the full instead of a life up. I like that idea too, because I think you'd rather just have burgers after this is done. So here's Frank. Frank is a difficult fight. You pretty much want to heal every single time you get hit because of this brandish knife attack that essentially does over half of your HP usually. So if you can get really unlucky with this brandishing of a knife, it can do as much as like 27 if you have a bad defense roll and he gets a strong attack roll. But luckily, DRock survives that just fine. You want to prioritize using the life ups here because you will get a full heal after this fight, or after these two fights, I should say. And now here we have Frankenstein. This is actually the easier one of the two, believe it or not. Every second turn, Frankenstein does nothing, just generates steam. So you can actually use that to your advantage to, either heal on that turn, or you pretty much know that the next attack will be an attack or will be a strong attack. So you can queue up a life up preemptively. So let's see how Quatropus's Frank goes. All right, Frank is down as well on Quatropus's end, and DRock has defeated Frankenstein. Good stuff. All right, now let's see the Frankenstein here. So another important thing to note too is that the first attack from Frankenstein is always a weaker attack. So if you're at, above 20 HP, you're pretty much safe. Oh, I didn't actually notice that. Good catch, New Life. Quattro actually entered that Frank fight with 42 HP. You want to be at full HP for sure for Frank, because if he starts off with a brandish attack, you can actually just die right on the spot if 2 brandishes come out. Frank can do other stuff too, though. He can say something nasty, or do a weak attack. So it's not like the biggest risk in the world, but in a race setting like this, consistency and safety is always a good thing to have in your run. Meanwhile, DRock just picked up the key to the shack, which is the key item you need to access the first sanctuary, and actually the only sanctuary in this category. Buzz was talking about, how you got to collect all the songs and put them in your soundstone and all that, but we're only getting one of them in this category since we're only doing a quarter of the full glitchless run. Now, DRock is going to be picking up some money here. The optimal thing to do here is to withdraw as much as you can, so it's usually 140, and that way you can use this money to fill up on hamburgers for the next boss in the dungeon coming up. And after you buy those burgers as well, you will usually have leftover money, so that if you end up using too many burgers on the next boss, you can actually take a quick detour to here and buy burgers with the rest of the money that you have. This makes it so that you don't have to actually go back to the drugstore again to withdraw more money. There was a couple of dog spawns there, but at this point, they're pretty much scared of you now, so they will run away. Oh, interesting. DRock actually decided to only buy a certain amount of burgers. He didn't just max out. Not sure why he did that. I guess maybe he just usually just buys 5, because that's usually that's what you do when you don't use any burgers. Oh, Quattro accidentally bought a can of fruit juice. That's a very common thing with this menu here. The text is really quick compared to other stores, so you can accidentally overmash and buy a can of fruit juice. And DRock here is in Giant Step, which is the sanctuary, the first sanctuary and only sanctuary in this run. And here the goal is to grind to level 8 so that Ness gets the PSI Rockin' ability for pretty much many of the bosses coming up for the rest of the game. To do that, you have to defeat 22 slugs. So I believe he just defeated 4, his first pack of 4. They actually kind of split off a bit. Sometimes you don't get all 4 slugs into the same fight. Sometimes they just kind of separate themselves, and you end up, killing the slugs individually. So that's what happened for, I think, 2 of them, and then you have to fight the other 2. So there are many strategies here to find slugs as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, for the most part, it's determined by the RNG of the game, whether they'll give you slugs or not. So, there are many lines of thought here that are all acceptable due to that factor. But as we can see here, Quatropus is going to go with the walking left and right method, and I believe DRock is doing the same. Yeah, so by doing it this way, you're basically kind of walking through most of the spawn tiles. And yeah, these spawn tiles here on the first floor are ideal starting out because they only have mice or slugs. There's nothing else. So once you see a mouse, you know it's a mouse. Once you see a little speck on the ground, you know it's a slug. So it's definitely a lot safer to just grind out all the slugs you need here. However, you can explore to the higher floors in this dungeon, which have another enemy called the Black Antoid, who also look like tiny little specks on the ground. So you have to be really careful. Those Antoids do not spawn in groups more than 2. So if you see more than 2 specks on the ground, it is more than likely going to be a group of slugs. So when you go up there, it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. You'll see like 1 or 2 specks on the ground, and they could be a slug, they could be an Antoid. It'll most likely be an Antoid, though, so you want to avoid that if you can. I'm actually losing track of how many slugs both players got. DRock got a lot of like random slug fights that weren't 4-packs. He's probably around like 10 to 12 right now, and this is probably going to bump him up to close to 16. So after this fight, he could potentially go up to the top floor. The top floor is special because the top floor has a chance to have a 6-pack of slugs. So optimally, you would want 4 packs of 4 and then 1 pack of 6, which means only 5 fights to get to level 8. Yeah, slug grind has not been too great for both runners for sure. Optimally, you want to be starting to go up. I mean, if you're on a really, really good pace, you're pretty much around the 20-minute mark when you're going to start to go up. But that's, expecting like the best luck or really close to that. On average, I'd say with the pace that these two are on, somewhere around the 23 to 24-minute mark. Maybe a bit less than that, actually. Unfortunately, DRock is finding a lot of mice that he's going to have to stutter away from. Definitely not what you want to be doing when you want to be moving as much as you can to find slugs as quickly as possible. Quatropus did find another group of 4, though, so that's great. No one ever dies on slug grind. You are absolutely correct, blessed Dragoon. So when you first fight these slugs, you do not want to auto fight because usually you will not be doing enough damage to kill them. It's like 50-50 whether you'll kill them or not, or you'll end up missing too. So you just want to bash them out. But once you get to the next level, you can pretty much safely auto fight. All right, so that's another 4-pack. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think DRock is just sticking with the grind on the first floor only strat, just to play it safe. So you just have to not deal with Antoids at all. Another benefit to this strat too is that if you do end up in a fight with Antoids, you can actually just go ahead and fire a Rockin' just to get out of that fight immediately. Oh, look at that. DRock found a 4-pack on the second floor. That's also another possibility. Some people actually depend on that too. Boing in the previous race, he likes to just go with 12 on the first floor, 4 on the second floor if he finds a 4-pack, and then the 6-pack on top. Quatropus is also making his way up. And there you go. DRock has got the level up. And I think Quatropus might get it here too. I'm not exactly certain. It's really hard to keep track of these slug grinds when you're only one person trying to keep track of both. Oh, unfortunately, DRock did get a 6-pack here, which he couldn't stutter. When you get to a point where there are really a lot of enemies on the screen, it gets to a point where the game gets too laggy that stutter stepping just does not work at all. So I think there was like 2 packs. So there's like 1 pack of 6 and 1 pack of 4 or something along those lines. There are a lot of little specks on the ground. So he had to take a fight because of how laggy it was. Fortunately, like I said, because you have Rockin' at that point, you can just use Rockin' on whatever on that top floor to get through. So I guess both players are at level 8 now? So DRock had to pick up a butterfly there to get to max psychic points. Picked up the burger as well. There's a burger in here that you can also pick up. I didn't check his offense, but I guess he is at offense 24. That's the number you want to see to one-hit KO these Antoids. Quatropus also got it as well. That's great. It's all good, Ori. I appreciate it, though. Trying my best. Quatropus did get a cookie from that insta-kill there. And now both players are going to be starting Ant within 20 seconds of each other. That's excellent. So let's see how this Ant goes. Ant has 200 and... Hold on. Oh, my notes are deleted. It's like 230 something. Or something along those lines. I am such a great commentator. So what you do here is you want to fire 2 Rockins and heal every time you get hit just to play it safe. Ant can hit really hard, can put up a shield, can do a defense down. And also could do Magnet, which drains your psychic points. If you see that, it's pretty scary. Let's see Quatropus here. Man, this is really hard to keep track. Let's see. Defense down. So I think DRock is looking fine. He got 2 Rockins off, and there you go. Titanic Ant is down. I didn't see if Quatropus got a second Rockin off. I feel like he didn't. He was at 9 psychic points, which makes me believe that he got a really strong Magnet from Ant. Luckily, Magnet is really nice attack to see after you use all your Rockins. Yep, okay, Drumboard is confirming that. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Oh man, Quattro is playing it super risky here. Oh, the outspeed! The outspeed of the Ant saves him there. He's still got 3 burgers left. He's still in it. He's still in this for sure. With only 1 Rockin, he could still make this work. Oh, the smash, and there you go. The shield is gone due to the smash attack. Smash attacks automatically deplete shields. And there you go, Titanic Ant is down. Nice. Within about a minute of each other. Good stuff to Quatropus there. That one turn was a really crucial turn there where he was at 12 HP. If Ant outsped and did any attack on him, that was a damaging attack. He was dead there. Thank you so much, chat. I really appreciate the love. Be sure to follow these 2 runners too, as well. Or pretty much any of the runners in this tournament, they're all putting up a great fight. Demonstrating a lot of great races for us to watch. So kudos to them, and kudos to all you guys for watching as well. Thank you for supporting both this tournament and speed gaming. Oh, look at this Drumbo guy. This Drumbo guy's a moderator here? Wow. That's awesome. I did not know this. Drumboardus is also a pretty cool fellow who is also in this tournament. I kicked his butt in my second round race against him, but that's okay. He's still a great dude, and we both had bad luck. All right, so now both racers are heading towards the police station because this cop over here that Quattro just saw basically told him he has to for intruding this giant step dungeon or something like that. So we got to fight 4 cops here and then the head honcho, Captain Strong. These cops have slightly less than 100 HP. They have 2 attacks. They can either just do a regular attack or a crushing chop. You do not want to see the crushing chop. They do a lot of damage. Ideally here, you want to heal with a hamburger when less than 60 HP. And when you're below 40 HP, you'd rather actually use a life up, which costs like 5 psychic points, but it does heal to the full, whereas the hamburger only heals, 40, 50 HP. Already at the police at that time. That is fast. Yeah, that's these are pretty good times for sure. Oh, there was a smash there from that cop. So Quatropus is actually taking that detour that I was talking about earlier to buy more burgers if you use too many against the Ant. Quatropus, I believe, actually might have went to the drugstore there too. I feel like I saw that. I could be wrong. Either way, he used plenty of burgers against that Ant. He had like 1 or 2 left, so he has no choice but to refill on burgers. I think he actually might have went to the drugstore to withdraw more because with the amount of money that he had, he didn't have enough to buy a sufficient amount of burgers that would be safe for this. Most people usually opt for about 6 burgers here. That's like the point where it's like pretty safe. It's like at least like 60% safe, I would say, minimum. But in one of my races, I had almost I think I had 9 or 10 burgers and I still almost died. So no amount of burgers is actually safe here. These cops can do a lot of things. Ness can miss a lot, Things can happen. 6 is like the nice point though, where you can usually get by. Oh, mortal damage. DRock did queue up a burger though, so he's fine. Eat that hamburger, indeed. Yeah, and yet Ness doesn't gain a pound. Yeah, I mean, sometimes Ness just eats like 15 burgers in these runs, but it's fine. He does a lot of walking. He burns off all those calories. All right, let's see how this Captain Strong fight goes. Usually you conserve 20 psychic points so you can fire 2 rocket attacks. He's at a decent HP here, so he'll be fine. He doesn't have to preemptively heal or anything. And the first one did hit. The second one hits for 79 HP, and Captain Strong is down. Awesome. Captain Strong has 140 HP, so an average rock and roll does 80, considering it doesn't miss. So on average, you usually kill him with 2 rockins. Good stuff. And he actually defeated Strong just under 30 minutes. That's great. That is a great on-net time. Quatropus is not that far behind, though. He could definitely finish within a minute or so of him. Yeah, he also does swing a lot with his bat to burn calories, but he does miss a lot. This is true. This is just trying his best. Ooh, got a crushing chop there on Quatropus end. He actually risked it. He was at, I think, 50-something HP, did not heal, got a crushing chop, and now he's like at 30? Oh, I guess he leveled up now, so I guess he's fine. He's at 30, though, so he wants to life up here if he's still around that HP. Yeah, you want to do a life up here, and he does. Smart move there. So basically, you have your burgers, and then you have at least 2 life ups to heal if you want to use 2 rockins. If it gets to a point where you have to use more life ups, though, please do. You can still defeat Strong with just 1 rockin. It's less likely, but it's still doable. And DRock picking up the hamburger on the way to Tucson and dodging them mushrooms with really tiny aggro radiuses, so you can kind of capitalize on that. 2 mushrooms were blocking the way there, though, so he's going to go back into O-Net briefly to despawn that. Let's see how the Strong fight goes here on Quatropus' side. Using the PSI DRock, using DRock in his game here to give him, or steal his luck or something like that, or steal his skills, whatever. That's a nice roll there. That was 100 and then also a 70-something. So there you go. He finishes with a 31, 40-something, a respectable O-Net and D. That's definitely above average, I would say. So kudos to these two for both surviving O-Net, which could be really brutal. So DRock here is taking a trip to the department store. We do that for a couple reasons. One, we have to withdraw money to invest in Apple Kids inventions, and as well, we also do a save. So we don't do that save for safety, although it can be a safe save. We actually use that for Death Warp that we're essentially setting up there. So we're going to be adventuring to another area, and then we get to quickly Death Warp back to Tucson, which is where we have to go next. Oh, full health after Strong. Don't see that too often. Yeah, I guess Quattro left that fight unscathed, so good stuff. Quatropus is actually going to pick up the butterfly here. It's not a bad move indeed. You have to pick up usually 2 butterflies, assuming you use 2 rockins against Captain Strong. You need those for the next area coming up in about, I guess, a little over 5 minutes or so. Happy Village is a pretty brutal area, and you want to have as much psychic points and health as you can to survive that place and make use of your PSI rockins, or DRocks in this case. Yeah, in our race, none of us survived O-Net. Well, we got through it eventually, but we did both die at some point. All right, so DRock is making his way to Peaceful Rest Valley here. The caves on the way there could be a little annoying, but nothing a little despawn won't fix. Peaceful Rest Valley, though, far from peaceful. Lots of enemies here, and none of them are stutterable. So you can't just capitalize on the fact that all enemies are stutterable in Giant Step. This is quite the opposite here. You have to be really careful with the enemies here. They can be really aggressive. So you want to play it safe. You want to despawn as much as you can. Or in the event of this area, there are a lot of obstacles like trees and rocks and things like that. So you can actually use the terrain to your advantage to get them stuck. Oh, nope, gotta despawn that. Some Guardian Sprouts there. Yeah, Richmond in the chat as well. That was another fellow opponent that I raced. And yeah, O-Nets were not being kind in the races that I was in. I apologize to both of you, but I wish you the best of luck, though. I believe Richmond has a race scheduled very soon. If not today, I don't actually remember, but I know you have a race scheduled with F. Coughlin. Excuse me if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. I want to say Coughlin so bad, but I feel like it's Coughlin. So another important thing to note, I forgot to mention, DRock, when he was in Peaceful Rest Valley there, he just kind of walked up to a certain point and then walked back down. So you may be wondering what is going on there. And that is basically just triggering a flag. You have to see the pencil eraser. Basically, the pencil eraser has to... Oh, wow. Sorry, I have to interrupt that for a brief moment there. Quatropus is getting attacked by a UFO. Just barely avoided the UFO. Like, I think if it was a frame or two longer, that UFO would have red swirled him. That would have been really bad. But he just barely got out of that one. Back what I was saying with the pencil eraser, though, you just have to load it into memory, and that's just walking above a certain grass patch, and that will trigger the flag. So then Apple Kid returns the favor after investing in his inventions and gives you a pencil eraser to remove that statue. Oh, and unfortunately, Quatropus does get into a fight with a UFO after all. Luckily, it wasn't a red swirl, so this is not as bad. So he's going to go ahead and fire a PSI DRock to take care of that. UFOs are pretty quick, and Rockin's miss rate is dependent on speed. So the miss rate could play a factor there. It's a pretty decent miss chance, but he does get the Rockin off. Also a one-shot too with a high roll, so that's very good. Yeah, I mean, this lead is not the biggest lead ever. Many things can happen in this category, so leads can shift back and forth. Yeah, this is a great channel. This is a speed gaming channel. There's also Speed Gaming 2. They have a second channel. We hold plenty of races from various tournaments of various games, as well as other events too, such as SNES Superstars, the Super 16, things like that. So please give them a follow if you're interested in this kind of thing. All right, so DRock is at the most annoying part of PRV. Once you clear the pencil, you're at this really annoying point where you can easily get pincered between these enemies. You don't have much room to move around in, so you kind of have to just hope that you don't get pincered. DRock playing that very nice. He played a little safe there, despawned as much as he possibly could. All right, so DRock doing well so far. He got past the annoying part. DRock, I believe, does still need... I don't know if he needs another butterfly after this. If not, there are plenty of 90% butterfly tiles here. So it's very common for butterflies to appear in various spots here. I think there's 3 spots in Peaceful Rest Valley where butterflies commonly spawn in. Ooh, there's a tree there. DRock, with the knowledge of the fact that trees walk really slowly and DRock can outrun them, he actually goes ahead and just walks past that tree confidently. So good stuff there. All right, so check this out. Nice. Oh, that was really close. I knew what he was going for there, and it actually worked out. That could have been worse, but it worked out. He got it stuck on the actual tree, not an evil monster tree, and then decided to walk around and then just outrun it. And DRock, I'm not sure what he was doing there. He was trying to stutter step it, but he didn't have much to work with. And you just automatically kill these snakes. I guess he just really did not want to step on Snake. I respect that. I resneck that as well. So unfortunately, DRock had to fight that snake. Yeah, I mean, I saw the effort there. I think he really wanted to not step on Snake. So I appreciate the attempt, but Snake was too vicious and had to defend himself. All right, so over here in Happy Happy Village, you are going to do a few things at the shop here. You're going to buy an upgrade to your bat, the Sandlot bat, and then you'll also pick up the Holmes hat for more defense. Oh, he's buying some croissants. I like this. Being a citizen of Canada, more specifically a French part of Canada, I love the croissants, and people in the Earthbound community know this. So he's going to buy those for additional healing items to survive a few of these fights here, as well as Car Painter, which is probably the most annoying fight. And unfortunately, DRock got really unlucky there. A cultist spawned right near the entrance there, so he had no choice but to just take the fight. Oh, and these cultists are really brutal too, because you actually cannot run away from these enemies. They are scripted so that you can't run away because of a scripted fight, or a few scripted fights with them. So it actually extends to every cultist, not just the scripted ones. That's a second call for help, so they can call for help. It's less likely the more cultists are on the screen. So when there's one, it's more likely to. Four, if that's 4 cultists. Let's see if we can beat the record here. I don't think DRock wants to beat this record. We had a cultist G earlier in this tournament, not too long ago. Oh man, DRock is in a really tight spot here. Oh no, that really sucks. So the lead has now shifted to Quatropus. I don't think there's really much DRock could have done there. I mean, the cultists just could have kept on calling for help. It happens. So unfortunately, what happened there is it was like 3 cultist spawns or 3 cultists call for help, and they just kept on attacking, and DRock just tried his best to stay in it, but that just happens sometimes. Unfortunately, a butterfly spawned right outside the hospital, I guess. So yeah, he has to make his way back now. So the save there is kind of a safety save in the sense that if this happens, it's not the end of the world. You don't have to walk all the way from Onet to here, which would be really, really long. But this is still a walk of shame nonetheless. Having to go through PRV again is not fun. So Quatropus is going to fight the first scripted fight here with 2 cultists and a crow. So in an earlier race, we actually got a quadfecta kill where a cultist called for help, and then the Rockin killed every single thing on the screen, which is very, very rare. These cultists have, I believe, 94 HP. So there we go, 95. So that kills one of them. Oh, another 95. Oh no, the suspense is killing me. That looks like a trifecta kill, but I can't tell. Quattro's stream just got choked right there, unfortunately. Oh, now we'll never know. I'll have to ask Quatropus after this race if he actually got the trifecta kill. Oh, wonderful. Meanwhile, DRock is making his way back through PRV, which really sucks. That's a huge time loss. It's a good 3-4 minute time loss. He's gonna try his best to get back into this. All right, so yeah, there's not too much I could say here. I'm assuming Quatropus at this point is in the headquarters right now fighting. Okay, there we go. I pretty much called it. He's fighting this other scripted cultist fight here. Just a single cultist. He can also call for help though, so anything can happen. Usually this guy goes down in 2 or 3 hits. Nest did miss there, I think, once. But there we go. Quattro takes care of the cultist here. So Quatropus has a decent lead right now. So ideally, you want to have at least 3 healing items, as long as you can for basically the extent of this whole area. I don't know how many healing items he has now, but ideally you want to have as much as you can for this guy right here, Car Painter, which you'll see in a moment. There you go. This boss is an interesting boss. Wait a sec, DRock. Did DRock just go straight to the HQ? Unless I'm mistaken, I don't think DRock, or did he fight the Shack fight in this time? I don't actually know if he went to get the Franklin badge and all that. Anyway, Quatropus is fighting Carpenter here. So Carpenter is scripted. So first turn, he will fire lightning at you, and when you have the Franklin badge that Paula gave you, you're going to reflect that lightning. So you want to get hit by lightning as much as you can. It's a 1 out of 4 chance, and wow, Quatropus takes care of Carpenter immediately. The next turn would be a life up from Carpenter, and then a paint attack, which does damage to you. So there are a few things you have to take into consideration here. 1, you do not want to use a psychic, a life up on a lightning turn, or else it's actually going to have a glitch that's going to cancel it out, and you will not take the damage from the lightning. So don't do that. Another thing is you want to maximize the amount of damage you can with Rockin' to end that fight as quickly as you can. Of course, you want to conserve healing items for that too. And also, you want to get hit by Carpenter, not with just the lightning, but also with the paint attack to have as low HP as possible. And DRock just realizing now he gets zapped by Carpainter and does not have the Franklin badge because he didn't realize that he didn't lose to the shack fight. He lost to a spawn inside the cave. So he still has to make his way over to get the Franken badge, and now DRock is not in a good spot. He's definitely not feeling it right now. He's definitely not too happy about this, but he's going to try the best to come back from this. Yeah, you get zapped and you get put in the field with the blue cow. So, I mean, if you're craving blueberry milk, I mean, I guess that's something you can do. It's not optimal for the speedrun, though. Quatropus does get Paula right now. 45 minutes, a decent pace for sure. Yeah, the pause, too. The pause, and he just sits there going like, what just happened? Opens menu. Oh, that's what happened. Yeah, you can see it with the reaction there that he had no idea what was going on there. The famous "the heck" pause, indeed. So now that Quatropus has Paul in the party, and you want to get back to Tucson as quickly as you can, that save sets up a death warp here. So I believe he was at a low amount of HP. I think last I checked he was at 40, 50-ish. Maybe he leveled up though. Oh, he's at 35. Oh, even better. So you get into a fight with this mole here, and if you have low HP, it's usually a pretty quick fight. The mole is kind of annoying, though. Sometimes he can confuse himself, feel strange, and all that. So you actually drop all of your equipment items to remove defense, and then this guy just attacks you with his claws. Ooh, exactly 35 damage against Nest there, so that's great. You want Nest to be dead as soon as you can, because Nest is the one with the higher HP. And, oh, did Paula just... No, Paula did not gut save, but Mole did a weak claw attack. But now another attack defeats Paula, and the death warp is successful. I'd say that was a pretty decent mole. I think that was an average mole for sure. You can actually have a 2-turn death warp. That's like the most optimal death warp, of course. But the mole usually won't do that. So Quatropus did not have enough money to skip the ATM, so you have to have $100 for the hospital to revive Paula. There's a trick that you can do where if you withdraw enough money and then don't spend like too much of it, if you end up not spending more than well, basically you want to have $200 by the end of all the purchases, you'll be able to death warp, lose half your money, and you'll still have the $100 needed for the hospital to save a few frames of, you know, skipping that ATM. So DRock has got he has the Franken badge now, so he should be fine. Will not get zapped and sent to the blue cow farm. Meanwhile, Quatropus got the backstage pass, and unfortunately, the stream halted again. But he's heading to the Polestar preschool to go meet up with Paula's father. Say they're gonna go on an adventure and all that. Get his permission. Father's gonna cry and stuff, and yeah, plot stuff. So that's pretty much what Quatropus is doing. Just a lot of plot stuff, getting some items, showing that item to other people, and then watching a show at the Runaway 5 show at the theater. So here we go. DRock is going to fight Carpainter with the Franken badge this time. Let's see how this goes. So first turn, like I said, lightning attacks. You do want to get hit by this. There you go. That's one. Awesome. 119 damage. It's pretty good. And he has one rocket at his disposal, so he'll definitely use this here. Carpainter does life up on the second turn always, but that's fine. Third turn is an attack, so now... Ooh, awesome. Okay, he should be dead. Either with a lightning here or even just a bash should do it. There you go. Mr. Carpainter turned back to normal. DRock is at a pretty nice HP here, as long as he doesn't get a monstrous HP level up. Okay, that's not too bad. 30 HP. That's about the same as what Quatropus had, so a Mole Death Warp would be sufficient for sure. Other runners would opt for other Death Warps if they're at higher HPs. You can make your way to Peaceful Rest Valley instead, and you can look for an enemy there that will more quickly defeat you than a mole. If you're at like 90 HP, it can take really long sometimes. So you can find, you know, UFOs, trees with sprouts and stuff, and you could even pick up the Cup of Life noodles along the path to actually skip going to the hospital and just revive Paula with that. So there are some benefits there if you do have really high HP, but both runners had really low HP, so the Mole Death Warp is going to be the right line of play. Yeah, Quatropus was just letting DRock catch up there. It had nothing to do with stream technical problems. He just sat there. He's really confident. So here's the Runway 5 show, sub 50 minutes. I think this is a decent pace for sure. So we're going to actually use this as a point of comparison here. So he starts the show at roughly 50 minutes. Yeah, 50 minutes and a second. So we'll see how far DRock is. If I had to guess, probably about 3 minutes. It's a pretty decent lead for Quatropus, but a lot of things can still happen. Yes, the Biting Cat, you are correct. This is where all the cool kids are hanging out, and only cool kids. Only cool kids and all the cool kids. There's no cool kids anywhere else. Of course not. So yeah, DRock will do the same thing. We'll see how his Death Warp goes. So just to let everyone know, this is the Earthbound Super Series 2017. We are racing Boogie Percent, which is essentially the glitchless category, but only a quarter of it, where you get up to Boogie Tent. We are currently in the group phases. We're in the second week right now, so it's a lot of people's second race. And we're making good progress here. We already have a few people who are guaranteed to advance. DRock, actually, I should probably mention this now that many of you may be worried, like, oh no, DRock is so far behind, this is not good for him. Luckily, DRock is actually confirmed to qualify into the bracket phase. His two best times were really solid. I believe it's an average of like 110 or 111 or something like that. And he has 2 wins already. So he's actually guaranteed to qualify. Another person in this group, New Life, I believe he has done all 3 of his races, and his average was slower, but I believe he also had 2 wins. So essentially, New Life is technically not guaranteed as long as Quatropus gets a really good time. But we'll see what happens, for sure. How long is an average race? It really depends on the runner. If we're talking about experienced runners, it's usually around 110. 110 is, I'd say, a good average time to achieve. The world record right now is it's like a mid 103. Just before that, it wasn't too long ago, it was actually a 105, a low 105. So yeah, that time is actually like really ridiculous. It's one of the best runs ever. In all of Earthbound, not just Boogie Percent. So yeah, the runners are definitely looking to go for that 110 if they can. And no problem. Corman the Cobb. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Go D-Rizzle. We got some support for D-Rizzle, DRock91384 from Shinsero. Yep, that's the thing with this category. Serene brings up a great point. RNG can say no to that. Oh, DRock risking it there. There was a hippie manippy. Got him. Got a red swirl. He was trying to get him stuck on the tree, but that did not happen. So DRock at this point, I mean, he doesn't really care. Like I said earlier, his 2 times are really solid times. And this 3rd time, he can essentially forfeit. He can do whatever he wants in this race. And he is fine. His average is locked, essentially. So he's not really worrying too much. What DRock really wanted to achieve, though, was have a really good time so that he could improve his average. The average times also play a factor as far as the seeding goes for the bracket phase. And for those of you who aren't as experienced with tournaments and stuff like that, having a better seed is actually a good thing to go for. It basically means that if you are a better seed, you're going to be matched up against worse opponents, which gives you a better chance at winning. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like he'll be able to improve that average. Oh my goodness, that hippie, another hippie was tailing him there. Oh, it's funny. Luckily, he did still skip the photo trigger, though. There is a tiny little rectangular photo trigger right outside this theater. If you hang right a little bit and then hug the right side of the theater, you can skip the photo trigger. And then you'll have to do the same thing on the way out, so don't forget about that. Unfortunately, Quatropus here, now that he's back, he just died in the graveyard. So this gives DRock a bit of a chance to catch up. What's Quatropus doing here? He's just chilling on this menu here. He can just continue from here. Oh, the stream cut again. So he got into a fight with that looked like two trash cans and that red dude, the red ghost dude. You do not want to get into any fights in the graveyard. The graveyard can be quite brutal. Tons of spawns everywhere. The flies are the most annoying because they have really like aggressive movement, and sometimes they can just charge at you. Sometimes they can just fly around in random patterns and stuff. So yeah, that's not good. Unfortunately, it's not. Or fortunately, it's not the end of the world. Dying there just brings you back to where the bus leaves you, and yeah, Paula being dead is also not an issue as well. When you are done with this area and you start doing the Jeff stuff, when you come back to Ness and Paula, Paula will be revived, so it's not a big deal. Ness dying alongside Paula is a big deal though, because then you'll have to respawn and come back up here. Oh yeah, good point, Robotic Puppy Eater. I forgot to check the time. So yeah, he's about 4 minutes and a half behind, given everything that has happened to him so far. And DRock is definitely not enjoying this run too much. He posted in the chat here, this run with a dead dragon, or a knocked out dragon. Yeah. Okay, so Quatropus finally got through that graveyard, it looks like. Yeah, these dramatic pauses. And sorry if I'm not like keeping up with Quatropus too. Like sometimes I just focus on DRock when that happens, and I don't even realize that Quatropus' stream is back up. Yeah, who knows? Like, I really want to know if he actually got the trifecta kill against the Shack fight, because like he got the two cultists killed, and then the crow, the first line of text, or the first character of text showed up for the crow, and then his stream crashed. So I have no idea what happened. And then it showed up again when he was fighting the next cultist fight. Patented suspense stream technology trademark. Nice. All right, DRock is riding that bus. So let's see, DRock can, I guess, catch up a little bit here if he doesn't get into a fight in the graveyard. He can probably save another minute, decrease this lead to a 3 minutes and a half lead. Oh, did you actually see the TH? I didn't see that. I just saw the bullet point. But okay. All right, so here we are in Winters on Quatropus' side. We got Jeff here, a wonderful fellow. Unfortunately, he does not have magical powers, but he does have the power of bottle rockets, which are pretty cool and stuff. They do a decent amount of damage, depending on his speed compared to enemy speed and stuff. We are actually going to be using those bottle rockets against Mr. Boogie Tent, as the category dictates. The magical power of science. There you go. Exactly. So Maxwell over here gives Jeff a bad key machine. It's a little bent, but it should work. Nope, it didn't work. So we have to go back to Maxwell. And in that 10-second amount of time, he actually realized, or he knew that it wasn't going to work, and then invented a bad key machine to fix bad keys. Or sorry, it was a bent key first, then you get a bad key machine to fix the bad keys. Silly me. All right, so yeah, Maxwell is a genius. He invents that for 10 seconds, but he's also a super troll. So in here, you actually use the bad key machine on 2 lockers to get Jeff's equipment. You get a Holmes hat and you get a pop gun, and you equip those right away. All right, meanwhile, I don't think DRock got into a fight, so DRock making a bit of ground here. And now we go into the drugstore here, and we spend all of our $2, or at least one of our $2, on a pack of bubblegum. And we're going to give this pack of bubblegum to Mr. Monkey over here that we call Bubble Monkey. Oh, yeah, Quatropus, look at that. Oh, I'm so happy he did that. It's a really minor thing, It's little things like this that I noticed for some reason. But he talked to the bubble monkey below him. That makes it so that bubble monkey actually walks less to you when he joins your party. So if you're talking from the side, he actually takes longer to get to you. So just a minor little thing. Talking from below will save you the frames. So Bone Monkey is really annoying, as you can see. Bone Monkey likes to kind of just stop, look around, pick his nose, do whatever monkeys do, eat a banana, whatever. So it's just really annoying when you have to dodge enemies, and then the monkey just does that, and it kind of gets you into the fight that you would have normally skipped. So most people are not a huge fan of Bone Monkey, but it's okay. Bone Monkey is kind of needed for a few things to progress the story. Quatropus also did not get into a fight there on the way to this Lake Tessie watching club. So that's good for him. And here there's a photo trigger under the tent. Ooh, luckily that guy did not block Quatropus's way. So the photo trigger is like right below that tent there. If you just hang really close to the tent, you'll skip it. You can also go around the tent if you want to play it super safe. And here we have the almighty Testy, the glorious MS Paint Beast. If you have Frank or FaZe, feel free to post that in the chat. Tessie and I guess the runners as well, would appreciate it. Thank you all. This is great. Tessie love, yeah. I love Tessie. It's personally my favorite character of this game. Tessie is just great. Tessie is love. Tessie is life. A few people in the community were very kind enough in creating a Tessie Perler for me. So I do have a Tessie Perler behind me when I run this game or when I run any game. So I really appreciate that. Love this community. It's a great community. Whoa, Tessie. Whoa, calm down there. What are you doing? No. Okay, Tessie is I don't know. Okay, anyway. Tessie being a little aggressive in the chat. But yeah, DRock also making his way there. So Quatropus, okay, Quatropus stream is not frozen. It's just Tessie, submerges, and then you have to listen to the rest of the song for like another 3 to 5 seconds. Drumboardus, your face is backwards. That's why you see it backwards, but it's not backwards, your face is backwards. Boom, got him. Okay, so now we're in Brick Road. This boss right here, I'm going to call him a boss, is one of the dumbest enemies ever. That's the Worthless Protoplasm. When it attacks, it does 1/3 of Jeff's HP, and if it outspeeds you and hits you 3 times, you are dead. Another thing it could do is it could also call for help, and then it can make you even more dead. So in cases like this, there's a few things you could do. You can play it risky and just go for the kill. The Worthless Protoplasm can make itself feel strange, but it could also attack you. If you defend multiple times when there's a call for help, you're actually going to have your damage so you can last the fight longer. And the way the run chance works in this game is that every turn, your chances to run away increases by 10%. The chance of you running away initially, in that case, is 15% because Jeff has 2 speed, Protoplasm has 27 speed, so you do 27 minus 2 plus 10, and then every other turn another plus 10. So you start off at negative 15%. So you can only run away turn 3, and then every turn after that is another 10%. So it's definitely a smart thing to just kind of take it easy there, heal up if you can, defend as much as you can, and then just run away until you have a successful chance of running away, closer to 40-50% instead of negative percent. So unfortunately, Quatropus cannot skip the duck. You can actually skip the duck if the duck is kind of in a good position for it. And Quatropus tried to set up another skip there with the second Protoplasm. Basically, you want to walk around until the monkey stops. And then when the monkey stops, you can walk along the top of that wall and then cut diagonally to skip past the Protoplasm. Unfortunately, I believe Quatropus went a little bit too early there. The monkey was not fully caught up to Jeff yet, so he got caught in that fight. And Tessie is back again, so sure, please put in some more MS Paint Beasts if you can. But yeah, so those presents basically have a fixed movement where once they see you, they just charge at you in a straight line, so you can use that to your advantage to bypass them. And now here we have Pawn Cave. Pawn Cave has a lot of spawn tiles, but most of them are stutterable. All the enemies here are stutterable, just like Giant Step. You have the mice, you have the slugs. Oh, there are mushrooms, though. Mushrooms are not stutterable, but in this first room, there are no mushrooms. In the second room, there is a chance of mushrooms. In the third room, there's plenty of mushrooms. So Quatropus is playing it safe here. I don't know if he knows how far ahead of DRock he is right now, but playing it safe, despawning instead of going for the stutter step. Mushrooms do have a really small aggro radius, so you could bypass them in some cases, but these rooms are they're more wide than the other rooms, but if they spawn closer to the middle, you don't want to risk it. Let's see how DRock deals with this Worthless Protoplasm. So far, so good. Worthless Protoplasm skipped his attack first turn. Did he just go for a heal there? Interesting. DRock going for a boiled egg there. I don't know if I would have done that personally, but that's fine playing it safe. The only reason I don't like that is that gives the Worthless Protoplasm another chance to call for help. And considering Worthless Protoplasm skipped his first attack, I think it was pretty safe to just bash that one out. But that's fine. Oh, we got a good position for Duck Skip here. Duck already charged straight down. He's not gonna pursue it further though. He'll see if he can skip it. No, don't go. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, the duck moved to the left. That's good. I forgot you have to actually talk to the sign there. I thought there was a trigger there, but the trigger is talking to the sign. So I'm panicking for no reason. Meanwhile, Quatropus finally did get through the second room. That's great. Did a lot of despawns to make that happen. Maybe there was a stutter step in there. I kind of missed it. DRock unfortunately did get into the second Protoplasm fight despite skipping the duck. It also called for help, so it's a little scary. Without the boiled egg, this becomes a little more scary than if he had the boiled egg. He's going to go ahead and bash this out, though. He's looking pretty good. After the level ups, the Protoplasms are not as scary. So good stuff by DRock there. Quatropus is not going to play his luck with that, that's for sure. Mushrooms spawn here quite often, so you want to be sure that those mushrooms are either just completely gone or on the right side there, so they get kind of stuck and they can't reach you. But Quatropus not having any great luck here. Also, he picked up the bottle rocket there. Ooh, he risked that one. I don't know if I would have risked that, but Quatropus went for it. I respect that. Good stuff from him. He just barely bypassed that mushroom site. A few more pixels closer, and I think the mushroom would have charged at him. Ooh, DRock trying to stutter. He's going all out right now. He has nothing to lose, really. So he's just kind of going all out, because why not? And he tried to stutter the slug there, but could not. Robotic Puppy Eater pointing out that the lead has actually closened quite a bit. DRock making up some time, only less than 3 minutes apart now. Good catch there. But Quatropus is through Pawn Cave and is going to fly out on the Skyrunner. Quatropus on a pretty decent pace right now. We're looking at like a 102 pace, assuming things go well with Boogie Tent. That's definitely a pretty good time. The low ends of anything like sub 115, I'd say, is very respectable, especially in a race setting. So good stuff from Quatropus. DRock, though, is still putting up a fight. He picks up the hamburger for safety. That's fine. Oh, see, that mushroom is a good example of a mushroom you can walk past. That one also would have been good, but there were enemies that spawned opposite of it, so yeah, you gotta be really careful here. So you may see DRock is despawning almost preemptively, it looks like. The reason why he does this is that you can actually feel lag in the game when enemies spawn. It's kind of like a radar to tell you, like, hey, wee woo, there are enemies up ahead. Please turn around. So he essentially felt the lag there a couple times to just despawn, or maybe the slug was on the very, very edge of the screen. So yeah, you can use that to your advantage in a few spots in this game. All right, DRock in the third room of Pawn Cave now. Not too far behind. Anything can happen here. Obviously, Quatropus really wants to win this to have a chance. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and check the the Super Series sheet to see if he actually has a chance to qualify with a 112. All right, so just to give a recap of this group, this is Group Buka. We have DRock, New Life, Quatropus, and Jetab. Jetab unfortunately lost all 3 of his races. Thank you for entering, though. Appreciate the effort. Better luck next time for sure. So it was between 3 racers, DRock, New Life, and Quatropus. DRock already has a really good average, and New Life already finishes 3 races. So New Life has an average of best 2 of 114. So that means that Quatropus, right now, his average of best 2 is 123.56. His best time being a 123.47. So for him to best New Life's 114, his time would have to be a really, really good time. And by really, really good time, I mean like, let's see, let's do the math here. Like almost world record level. So like 104, 105. So unfortunately for Quatropus, despite him winning this race, it's not going to be enough to break the tie between DRock and New Life's average time, which are both better. But Quatropus is ending strong, though, so that's very good. I'm sure Quatropus is really happy with this, too. So Jeff has joined the party. Oh, and he successfully skipped the door text, unlike some other people that should be doing that, but are not. I'm not going to mention names. It just happened in the previous race, though. So yeah, if you actually walk up to the door, but not fully up to the door, you can skip the text that says this door is locked and then just use the bad key machine from far away. Picking up the teddy bear there, play it safe. Of course, you want to finish this run. DRock was bred to rock 24/7. That sounds about right. Yeah, you are right, Drum Boys. DRock still has a chance to win, technically. Boogie 10 here is pretty brutal. He's actually going to go out. He's just going to go rock and freeze Big Ball Rocket, because why not? Oh, and that just bit him in the butt. So this is a thing that Boogie 10 can do. If it attacks Jeff first turn, it's not looking very good, because Jeff is your main source of damage in this fight. He has both a Big Ball Rocket and a Ball Rocket, and usually, and I say usually, he'll hit for about 400 to 500 damage with his BBR, and then the Ball Rocket, and along with Rockins and other stuff, would usually defeat the fight. So unfortunately, both Paula and Jeff are dead, leaving Ness alone here with just Rockins and a bunch of bashes. So this does not look very good, and DRock actually has a chance to come back and win this. It's exactly what Drum Borders talked about earlier. Yeah, so Paula here being alive would have been much better here. Paula does have Pray as a command. The Prayer command is very interesting. It's very random in what it can do. But one of the possibilities of Prayer is reviving your full party back to full. So having that chance to revive Jeff and then using Big Ball Rockets to finish off Boogie 10 is usually what you want to do. But let's see what happens here. So Quatropus, what he has to do now is he has to revive at least Jeff so that we can use the or that he can use the Big Ball Rocket and the Ball Rocket. So all he has to do is just revive him at the hospital. He needs the money to do that, though, so I think he's going to go to the hotel here and withdraw. I think he's still going to be slightly ahead of DRock here, so he can still win this despite that. Yeah, Quattro's in the lead because of some shenaniganry that happened on DRock's end in Happy Happy. He died to a cultist, bring him all the way back to Tucson, and then he thought he died to the Shack fight. So then he went straight to the headquarters and then got zapped by Carpainter without the Franklin badge. So then he had to go fight the Shack fight and all that. So he was pretty significantly far behind, but DRock definitely made up some time ever since that. All right, here we go. Quatropus is going to go ahead and revive Jeff. This is actually neck and neck all of a sudden. Did he just revive Paula? Oh, no. No. Oh, no. There's no ATM in there, Quattro. Oh, man. I think he accidentally revived Paula instead of Jeff. Paula is not really helpful at all here. I mean, she could freeze, which has a 25% chance to solidify Boogie Tent, making him useless for a turn. But no, he accidentally revived the wrong character. Luckily, he does have enough money still to revive Jeff, but now DRock, here's his chance to come back and win this. So the safe strat here, instead of going all out, is going defend, BBR, and wow. And that's the true potential of the big ball rocket there. Doing 660 damage. That's like overkill by a good 70, 80 damage. And that's a GG, a steal win from DRock here. Making him undefeated in the group phase. That's quite unexpected, honestly, given what happened. Huge shame that Quatropus lost there. He had a solid lead, and he was going to finish strong with a 112, but he forgot to heal Jeff and then kind of risked it with the Rockin' first turn instead of just doing the defend, big ball rocket to safely get the big ball rocket off. So GG to DRock. Let's see what his time is. All right, so I believe his time is going to be a 1:15:41. Let me just double check this though. Yep, 1:15:41 official time on SRL. I'm not exactly sure if this is the closest match. I'd have to actually like double check to see what is the closest match so far. But GG again to DRock. This 1:15 is his worst time, but luckily it does not matter. The way we do tie breaks and bracket seeding is based off of their 2 best times. So no matter what DRock did here, he was always through to the group phase. It was in his best interest to improve his average, but unfortunately he couldn't do that with this run. But that's fine. Congratulations to DRock and to New Life for both making out of the Buka group. Sorry to Quatropus and Jatab. Better luck next time. Thank you for registering, though. You guys did great. Hope to see you again next year for sure. So let's see how Quatropus is doing with this Boogie 10 here. He's trying his best. I guess things were not panning out in this second fight either. Yep, you did make it, New Life. Congrats. There's the mortal damage again on Jeff. He's asleep. Oh, what? I think... Wait, what happened there? Did Paula, like, pray heal Jeff or something? Jeff survived, I guess. Yeah, he's praying with Paula to get some psychic points on Ness or something. Yeah, the prayer heal is what he's looking for here. Or also the blinding light. There's a blind, or I think it's called a blinding light, something like that does damage to Boogie Tent. It's a solid amount too. It's like the amount of a rockin' pretty much. She is feeling strange though. And meanwhile, DRock is attempting the debug menu or the Boogie Tent glitch for funsies. Oh, it did glitch out a little bit there. Yo, Yogi the Master, what's up, dude? Yeah, so this is so brutal. Come on, Quattro, you got this. Please give your energy to Quatropus here. He has to win with this fight, though, I think. Otherwise, I don't think you'll have enough funds to revive people and get back into this. Yeah, Ness be useful for once and just smash. Ness is all like, let me smash, please. Some of you might get that reference. Oh, does he still have the defense spray? Okay, so he can do that, technically, yeah. So if he still wants to continue, he can sell Jeff's defense spray for $250 and then use that money to buy a bunch of regular bottle rockets. But I think Quattro might call it quits here. Let's see what he does. Props to him if he continues. How do you miss a tent? It's the power of Jeff. Whoa, DRock crashing his game. That's an interesting hard lock. Nice little wee woo noise. I think it's the Twitch police arresting DRock for going too fast and stealing that win from Quatropus. DRock, the fast thief, the race thief, the win thief, whatever you want to call him. Leedle, 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 lee. Nice. Twitch cop. Yeah, so I don't think he knows about the defense spray. I didn't know about it. I forgot about that, honestly. All right, so Quattro did decide to forfeit. Unfortunate for him. He had that one. He really did. But GG to both of you. GG to DRock and New Life for qualifying. Yeah, that's just really unfortunate. All right, so that'll be it for me. So go ahead and if you want to watch more Earthbound races, stay tuned. There will be more to come on both Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2. On the other hand, though, there are I think there's a race going on right now, or maybe a couple of races on LL Temple's stream. So yeah, go ahead and watch more races. Thank you all for watching. GG to the runners again, and see you all next time.